Pleasure to welcome you to the show today. I'm Gabriella. We're going to start the conversation with one story that trended yesterday. The E-Naira speed wallets disappeared from the Google Play Store. I hear it's back now, but there was that confusion yesterday amidst a lot of negative reviews about the app and people who had downloaded the app and were trying to use it. That experience came off somewhat not palatable with a lot of people. We're going to have that conversation right now and what we think and anticipate the ENaira helping us achieve in Nigeria. I'll be joined by a guest, a financial analyst who will help us understand all there is to this particular conversation at 1 p.m., the news update. And right after that, we get to connect to all on energy solutions at 1:30. 2 p.m. brings us mind, body and soul. Don't go away.
Different ideologies,
different perspectives.
Share your views on the sunny side.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Welcome back to the show. The conversation begins here and now. So, yesterday there was that confusion amongst lots of Nigerians who had downloaded the speed wallets of the E-Naira and found out that, look, after hundreds of thousands of downloads and people who have already begun to use the app, it kind of disappeared off of the Google Play Store, and many people were concerned as to what would happen next, especially for those who had already begun to use it. Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria came out also in response to lots of Nigeria's criticisms to say that it will not bear any liability for any interruption, for any loss of revenue, your money, or any loss of service arising from the use of the ENaira website. That was in reaction to lots of people who had complained about what could potentially happen to their monies. For example, if something were to happen to the ENaira app, so it took quite the toll yesterday for lots of Nigerians who said that, this was quite shocking to find that just about 48 hours, just 2 days after, the ENaira app was launched by the president of the country, Muhammadu Buhari, this is happening. Wouldn't you say it's quite interesting? According to the president, though, he did say that, the e-currency would help us in so many ways, even though lots of Nigerians disagree. But he did mention that it's going to help us increase remittances. It's also going to help us foster cross-border trade. He mentioned quite a lot of, benefits like, improving financial inclusion as well, among so many other things. But how does this translate to a better experience for us as individual Nigerians? And what is the future we anticipate in terms of the ENaira? Joining me via telephone is financial analyst Fagbo Frank. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Good afternoon, Debbie.
You're welcome. All right, let's start a conversation with how Nigerians are feeling right now about the ENaira. How would you judge Nigerians and the perception of the ENaira?
Okay, so basically, I'm of the opinion, and I think that Nigerians right now have much more reasons to mistrust the government as regards the financial institutions in the country. And why is this happening? Because you have if the cash cow of the economy, which is CBN, can be in charge of a particular project, which is the ENaira project, and they are the biggest regulators of the economy in Nigeria right now, and also they are the biggest regulators of the ENaira. So if they can come up with such statements, trying to indemnify themselves of any loss of funds or any situation that happens around the whole ENaira installation, downloading and using of the ENaira wallet, then it's a big slap to the faces of Nigerians, knowing fully well that all checks and balances ought to have been done way back before now, and it's not something that you don't test run the market when you're talking about the financial space. Now, it's something you would have done at your back end, make sure everything is well done, and you make sure the servers are uptight, and if you're dealing with if you're having a particular application that has to deal with 200 million Nigerians, so it's not something that it's audible to the deaf and visible to the blind that a server that will be able to serve the country, a server that will be able to serve people as much as 100 million Nigerians should be well vetted. And looking at the antecedents of the people handling the project, Bit Inc., which is BITT, BITT, then Inc. They are the ones looking at their antecedents. They've done the central bank digital currencies for 3 different countries, and they are from South America. So knowing fully well that they've had experiences of such in the past. Why is it happening? Why is that of Nigeria happening like this? Why is that of Nigeria any different? It just shows clearly that we are not competent enough for us, and we are not ready for the digital space that we are trying to play in.
Now, would you say that what has happened now? A lot of people envisaged for it to happen, especially taking cue from the lead, that reality is not ready for this level of digitization, as it were.
Okay. I wouldn't say that. I think to an extent, because of the buzz around the ENaira, because of how Nigerians have been able to climatize themselves with the whole crypto space, a couple of Nigerians make use of do a couple of transactions around the crypto space. You have different wallets, you have the Binance, you have different wallets where they used to access their crypto assets. So it's not something that is new to some Nigerians, and so the only thing that was expected of CBN was to make sure, they've done all their checks and balances regarding the e-wallet. So I think some Nigerians had trust in the project, because if they didn't have trust in the project, then there won't be any downloads. You had over 200,000 downloads in 24 hours. So obviously 200,000 Nigerians put their trust on the line as regards that project and went ahead, downloaded the app, and trying to do their KYC and all that, and they discovered that it was just all doom and gloom. But then I'm very 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 sure that they are trying to do damage control. But damage control is a very very dangerous model in the financial institution, because once you've lost that trust, then you've lost it for all. You've lost it, because if I take my money to a particular bank and I can't access it, or something is wrong in the process of me taking my money to the bank, then you don't expect me to come back there, because financial institution, one of their major what's it called, the major index that is used in the financial institution is trust. The major index for any for buying and selling for any transaction in the financial institution is trust. And if you lose that trust, it's very extremely difficult to regain it. Extremely difficult to regain it. That's why you see that you always have different layers of quality control, different layers of quality check to make sure they are uptight as regards serving their customers, as regards making sure things are very much on check. But if the cash cow of the economy, if CBN, which is the number one regulator in the financial sector, can do that, then I don't know what to say regarding that. I don't know what to say. The damage control that can be done, can only profit them little. But then that's just what I think. Basically.
The trust you speak of, it's already a very thin line for lots of Nigerians, and then having to, trample on that and break that is obviously a very very wrong move to make for a lot of Nigerians. Now, of course, like you already mentioned, it's no news that there were some loopholes, some gray areas that perhaps the government or the CBN did not pay enough attention to. Hence, what happened. Even though it was also stated, a spokesperson for the CBN, Mr. Osita Uwanishobi, also said that the reason why that happened yesterday was because there was supposed to be an upgrade to the app, and it said it was going to be back in a few hours, which eventually it did. But with what happened yesterday, many people are now in doubt of the efficacy consistently going forward of E-Naira. How do you?
That's right.
How would you suggest that the CBN and the government regain some level of confidence from Nigerians concerning the E-Naira?
Okay, so I think basically that such a thing, the number one problem right now is mistrust. And so if the people don't trust you, then there's only a little you can do as regards having a smooth sail, especially in the financial sector. But be that as it may, one of the major statements that was made from the spokesperson was that they were trying to do an upgrade, and trying to connect the dots now, you see that it just doesn't, it's not forthcoming. You can't connect the dots because you only do an upgrade for something that is existing. So if you had, the app was launched and barely 48 hours ago, what are you upgrading the app that you wouldn't have done from the very onset? So it's just a flimsy excuse. It's something that can be, is an excuse that should be thrown down the drain, because it's not something that is not an excuse that holds water. You can't tell me that for just in barely 48 hours you're saying you want to upgrade. Upgrade what? That meaning quality check, quality control was not properly done, because you know the number of people that are expected to be able to download the app. You have 200 million Nigerians. Plus or minus, let's say half the population of Nigerians are expected or are the prospective customers. So you should be able to have a bandwidth that will be able to accommodate such numbers as regards download, as regards your server, as regards the network and all that. You have developers who develop apps for billions of people. The Facebook app is being downloaded by more than 2 billion people around the world. So if you have different countries, the US, they have their central bank digital currency called Twitter, and then you have other countries emulating such. So if the giant of Africa and the first project in Africa that you're launching and telling us you're looking at having an upgrade, no, it's not. That excuse should be thrown down the drain. It's not something that is valid at this point in time. Like we've grown past that. But the damage control, I think, speaking of damage control, I really do not know what CBN can do at this point in time. I think the only thing they can do is to reassure Nigerians and to make sure, they find lasting solutions to the issue, and also take back that statement that indemnifies them of any loss. So if you're putting such a statement out there and you're making it clear to Nigerians that if anything happens to your assets, my hand no detail. Practically, then you don't expect anyone to trust you.
Right.
So if I take my money to the bank and you tell me that, okay, my money is not safe in the bank, or whatever happens to my money, then I shouldn't hold you liable. Then you don't expect me to do business with you. Why do you think we have NDIC? Nigeria Deposit Insurance Company also. But yeah, I think that's the name. NDIC. You see them. You see the stickers on the safe doors of every on the entrance of almost every Nigerian bank.
Right.
That clearly tells you that okay, your money is being insured. Your money is safe. If anything happens to that bank, then I know where to go to. I know okay, I'm not going to lose my assets. But if CBN can come up with such statement, then it's a pity. It's a pity. That's just all I have to say regarding that.
Now, let's talk about the functionality of the E-Naira and how,
Yes,
Nigerians across the country can actually use it. For people who may not really understand how it works, because one of the things that the president highlighted when it was being launched 2 days ago was the fact that it would enable the government to send direct payments to citizens eligible for specific welfare programs, So breaking it down, how does the E-Naira work? How is it supposed to work for the average Nigerian?
Okay, so the E-Naira is just a digital representation of the fiat we have in this country, of the cash you have at hand. So it's the same value with the naira. So if the naira to a dollar is 500 naira to if the exchange rate is 500 naira to a dollar, then the E-Naira is going to be the same. So it's just same value, different opportunities. So as regards the opportunities, one of the major things is that it's going to help in if done properly. That's the caveat, by the way. If done properly and all checks and balances are done, then it's going to help in foreign remittances. So you have Nigerians in diaspora, you have people, business partners who want to send some funds to you and all. They can easily run a couple of exchange and make transactions really swift. That's one major thing. And knowing fully well that okay, you have a couple of you have the likes of the Anchor Bearers program, you have the likes of different intervention funds, you have the likes of peradventure the government wants to give Nigerians grants and all that. They can easily access. They can easily send. They can easily run such transactions amongst Nigerians through the E-Naira because you have each and every Nigerian would have, if you open the E-Naira, you would have a particular a unique wallet that is designated to each user, and that wallet is designated to each user, each and every unique user. So that way you'll be able to access, you'll be able to have direct access to the guys you're dealing with. No need for third-party intervention. So if, for instance, if they want to send some money to Nigerians right now, if you notice, more often than not, what they do is that they give Nigerians cash, or they give it out in cash, or if they want to do it, then they send it through banks, and those banks are third parties. So because banks are a private institution, at least you get my point. But now, if you're speaking of the E-Naira, you're dealing directly with the merchants. Well, now the merchants are Nigerians. They're dealing directly with the customers. So I think it makes transactions really sweet and really smooth. That's that, basically. And also, I'm sure a couple of crypto traders will be very, very, very happy, and a couple of financial traders in the market, because in just no distant time, this is just an emergence to the digital economy that we've all been clamoring for. So if done properly and well launched, then it will usher into the digital economy, and lots of transactions can easily be done as regards exchange, converting. For instance, you want to convert some money to our domicile currency, which is the naira. You can easily do that there without any hiccup. And speaking of foreign remittances, so it's going to boycott and going to make it easier, where you don't have to go to the bank and use Western Union. You don't have to go to the bank and use what's called the other ones, Western Union and MoneyGram and all that.
Right.
So I think it's just sweet as regards financial transactions between two parties, as regards conversion of one currency to the other, and maintaining the naira asset.
I mean, it sounds like a fantastic idea. It's supposed to be something that lots of Nigerians accept. But sadly the reverse is the case. But we'd like to hear from you now if you're listening. Whatever questions you thought you have, you can call in, you can send a message on WhatsApp or also streaming live on Facebook, so you can join via Facebook as well, and let's talk. All right, so back to you, Mr. Fagbo, so I can let you go, and then we get to the calls. Going forward, I know that right now we are not quite sure what the CBN, what action they should take in terms of damage control, like you already mentioned. And we already know what the ENaira is supposed to achieve. What do you anticipate the body language of Nigerians be in the coming days as regards to ENaira? Do you see this successfully taking off again?
Yeah, there are just some things you can't help, and you can't help. You can't limit change. You can't stop change. You can't stop change. You can't limit change. All you just need to do is to adapt to it. Change is constant. So it's something that is constant. It must happen. So long we're growing, it must happen. So what I'm saying in essence is this: times are changing. There was a point in time where we were in the Stone Age. There was a point in time where we were in the Industrial Age. And right now we're in the we're currently in the middle of the fourth Industrial Age. And it is the technological wave, it's the digital wave, and you can't stop it. It must happen. It must catch up to as a people. So the only thing you can do is to get ready for it and to be prepared. So speaking of them continuing with it, they have to. It's not something that is non-negotiable. They have no choice but to embrace the change. But then, if they are going to embrace it and embrace the change in the financial sector, they have no choice but to make sure they do it well. So I think what they need to work on is quality control. What they need to work on is competence, is making sure, okay, all checks and balances, you dot your I's, cross your T's, and get it all done properly. Because it must be done, and it will be done. So that's just it, basically.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fagbo Frank, for your time. I do understand that you have to get to other things, so I'm glad you could squeeze out time to join me on the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. And have yourself a good day.
You too as well. Thank you very much. I've been speaking to Mr. Fagbo Frank. He's a financial analyst in Lagos, but I'm glad that he could join us on the conversation. Now it's time for you to call in and let's talk. The numbers to call is 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. You can also call 0817 923 0007 or 0817 923 0009. On WhatsApp, it's 0809 030 6416. We're streaming live on Facebook as well. Quite the comments on Facebook. Have been reading them and just, giggling to myself. On Facebook, you can join the conversation by watching us live. As you drop your comments at Nigeria Info 92.3ph. Have you downloaded the ENaira app? What's your experience like? If you haven't, will you download the app? Good afternoon, you're welcome. Oh, apologies, they will to call back. All right, let's take some comments on WhatsApp now. The WhatsApp number, once again, is 0809 030 6416. Franco Confidence on WhatsApp says, the ENaira's disappearance from the Play Store is not a surprise to most of us because a digital currency cannot exist without a blockchain secured ledger or miner. Also, how will the ENaira fare in a country that bans banks from transacting cryptocurrency? All right, so now on Facebook, the humble bishop says, good afternoon, Gabby. If there is any way in which the ENaira is there any way the ENaira will put food on our table? The humble bishop, that's like asking, is there any way my bank will put food on my table? You know the answer to that, don't you? All right, Franco Confident sent the message on Facebook as well, so we've taken that already. To the phone lines now. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon.
You're welcome, Mrs. Zion.
Well, as a patriotic Nigerian downloaded, I've created my wallet, but I've not funded or started transaction. I miss my indifference. That's about this project, which I truly like. I felt the federal government is not sincere with Nigerians to bring out this project. One, no sensitization, no proper lecturing and awareness being created for Nigerians to embrace this innovation. Best to my knowledge, it was the same country that virtually criminalized Nigerians for going into cryptocurrency. Yes. And you cannot deal on cryptocurrency without linking it to E-Naira. My digits must be transferred to my E-Naira. It must work. I felt that we have a lot that the federal government is not telling us. Let me be honest to you. This project was created to steal from Nigerians.
Come on.
Do you know the amount of billions you can store in your e-wallet and nobody can trace it except you alone? These guys, they want to steal from Nigeria. And the only way they know they can hide this money, not to be a victim like the way Sony Abasa was being victimized, was to create this project for their benefit. Apart from that, what else are you giving us the E-Naira for? Or e-currency to deal with? When the only one we are practicing that is a global chain, you banned it. It should not work. And let us be honest. Most of us can all easily fund our E-Naira wallet through cryptocurrency and other blockchains that we can link or that are strong enough that we can correspond it. Tell me, will the Nigerian bank have a special account that I can pay in as my e-currency, reflect on my e-wallet? Which is no, except online dealing and transactions that will give me my inscriptions. Gadi, well, I have downloaded it. Of course, transaction will start any minute from now. But I am not satisfied with this project. Our Naira is almost like nothing in the international market. You have not done that. You have not strengthened that. You are bringing another currency crisis. It will be a currency crisis. As you are talking, even the e-dollar that was created, no, I'm not even up to 2 years now, before 4 years now, they are having crisis already with it. Now you are bringing E-Naira without studying the process. Is to steal our money, nothing more. To steal and hide our money.
Right,
that's the essence, Mr. Zion.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Mr. Zion thinks it's just to steal money. Quite disagree with him, though. All right, our time is almost up. Let's take some comments on Facebook. Iborama says, be original, be authentic. E-Naira is not. That is why it crashes. It has nothing to do for us. We need jobs, we need security, we need peace, infrastructure, not just the E-Naira. Jojo says, I am not surprised. We are never prepared for anything. Wisdom Steven says, I have the app. That's good for you. Let's see, so many comments. And Barikwe says, we will be talking about this app if it was still on the store. So I downloaded the app, enrolled, and was to verify my account via my mail. Funny, but the verification link never came. I checked my spam uncountable times until I gave up, only to hear that it has disappeared from the store. The government has a way of always proving to us that there is little they can do. I'm sure you can try again now, and see if that works. Good afternoon, you're welcome.
Hi, Gabby, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please, I think we should not deter the general public from downloading the app. If you ask me, Mr. Zion just sent the wrong message to the whole world concerning the E-Naira. It is called digital currency. It is not cryptocurrency, for crying out loud. Please, your guests have explained it. Mr. Zion has come to just twist what your guests have said. There is difference between cryptocurrency and digital currency.
Yes.
The blockchain and digital currency are not the same. Mr. Gadi, I don't know how much you have in your purse,
as in cash, the hard currency. It is the equivalent of what you will have in your E-Naira.
Exactly.
If you usually have your app. I don't know if your bank have sent you message syncing your E-Naira. In fact, if you go to their social media pages of your bank, you will see that bank are already talking about it on how you can integrate it to your
yes, they are.
bank. I don't know if you have seen that.
They are.
Please, Mr. Zion has just come to spoil everything. Please. We should not go out without a misconception about cryptocurrency and digital currency. Other nations of the world, especially China, are already using their E-Naira or rather whatever their currency is, digital currency, to do their transactions. And that is what the government has come to do. I am not here to talk about the download of whatever has happened. Like Sam Parakowale said, it is in progress. There are things that they have discovered that they need to set up. For me, this is what I will do. I am not downloading it now. What I usually do is when app comes first, I give it time and see what, like example, what like this now. I go to the app and I rate it. I mean, you see ratings and all that. Then if you are satisfied, you can download. Then it will get to a point where you are satisfied to say, yes, it is time to use it, and then you can start using it. Do not rush in downloading it. Watch. The government should use their institutions like National Agency to pass the right message. The banks, and put it at the bank to educate their customers about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing, and I totally do agree with many of the things that you said. You know, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but there is the fact about the E-Naira, which I think my guest did quite the justice to, you know, in explaining and breaking down how the E-Naira works, you know. So I think that clears that out. But our time is up, sadly, and we got to go. But thank you so much for joining me on the conversation. It does continue right after the news updates that happens in 3 minutes from now. It's top of the hour. I'm Gabriella. Don't go away.